Welcome. I'd like to call the August 13th, 2025 Planning Commission hearing to order. My name is Holly Cuellar, and I'm the chair of the Planning Commission. Before we get started, I've asked Commissioner Byler to lead us in a prayer and Commissioner Hippen to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand.
As we come together to serve our community, help us approach our work with open minds, steady judgment, and respect for the perspectives each of us brings. May we find the wisdom to guide our discussions, the clarity to shape our recommendations, and the shared purpose to strengthen our city while respecting the rights of the individual, to support our city council in making thoughtful decisions for the future. Thank you for both the opportunity and the responsibility that comes from living in this beautiful city where we enjoy the ocean, the rivers, the parks, and the wildlife. Please grant us wisdom and decorum to receive and respect diverse opinions. May we never take for granted the blessing of self-government and the opportunity to have our voices heard. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, we'll go ahead and introduce the commission and members of the planning staff, starting to my right.
Tori Eisenberg, Deputy City Attorney.
Michael Mauch, I have the pleasure of serving the city as the at-large representative.
Walter Camp, District 1, Kempsville area.
John Cromwell, District 2, Pungo and Blackwater.
All right, Mike Anderson, District 3.
Catherine Byler, District 4, and that's generally Town Center all the way up to Newtown Road.
Holly Cuellar, District 8.
John Costin, District 9.
Catherine Schoonover, District 5.
Brian Plumley, beautiful District 6, from historic SeaTac to the north end.
Susan Hippen, District 7, College Park, Tallwood, and Salem, and much, much more.
Caitlin Alcock, Planning Administrator. Clerking to my left, we have Kristen Bauer and Alexis Bailey. In the audience, we have Deputy Planning Director Carrie Buchholt. With our Planning Administration team, we have Marshall Coleman and Mike Hayes. We have our Zoning Administrator, Kevin Kemp. Other planning staff, we have Madison Eichels, Aubrey Bocock, and Lane Harrington. Then with IT support, we have Rachel Levere and Faith Wolaskis.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, if you could please describe the rules and the order of business for today's meeting.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Virginia Beach Planning Commission takes pride in being fair and courteous to all parties in attendance. It is important that all involved understand how the Commission normally conducts its meetings. It is equally important that everyone treat each other and the members of the Commission with respect and civility. We request that cell phones be put on silent during this meeting. This is an abbreviated explanation of the rules. The complete set of rules is located in the front of the Planning Commission agenda. Following is the order of business for this public hearing. Withdrawals and deferrals. The chairperson will ask if there are any requests to withdraw or defer an item on the agenda. Consideration of these requests will be made first. Consent agenda. The second order of business is the consideration of the consent agenda, which are those items that the Planning Commission believe are unopposed and which have favorable staff recommendation. Regular agenda. The Commission will then proceed with the remaining items on the agenda. When an agenda item has been called, we will recognize the applicant or their representative first. Following the applicant or their representative, in-person speakers will be called next, and then the speakers participating via WebEx. Speakers in support or opposition of an agenda item will have 3 minutes to speak per item, unless they are solely representing a large group, such as the Civic League or Homeowners Association, in which case they will have 10 minutes per item. If a speaker does not respond or if a technical issue occurs which renders the comments unintelligible, we will move on to the next speaker or the next order of business. Please note that the actions taken by the Commission today are in the form of a recommendation to the Virginia Beach City Council. The final decision to approve or disapprove an application will be made by the City Council. The Commission thanks you for your attendance, and we hope that your experience here today leaves you feeling that you have been heard and treated fairly. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. The next order of business is the consideration of requests to withdraw or defer an item. Do we have any withdrawals today?
Good afternoon. Thank you very much. Case number 6, Mimi's Rentals on Page Avenue. We would like to request an indefinite deferral on that, please.
Okay, so it's deferral, not withdrawal, just for clarification. Thank you very much. Do we have any additional deferrals?
Madam Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, members of the Commission, for the record, my name is Rob Beeman, local land use attorney at the Troutman Pepper Law Firm. I represent the applicant for number 7, C4FS LLC, and we'd like to request a 30-day deferral to continue to work with members of the public adjacent to the site.
Thank you very much, Mr. Beeman. And just for those who are in attendance today, we do have quite a few deferrals, so we are going to be voting them in a block, so as not to confuse the process. Next.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, honorable members of the Commission. Eddie Burdon, Virginia Beach attorney representing Brykel LLC, application number 8. We request a deferral on this application. We have, after the second meeting we've had with the Chesapeake Beach Civic League, the general membership on Monday evening, we think we have a path to hopefully find a resolution everyone will be pleased with, and we've asked for a determination from the zoning administrator. We expect to be back in October.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Do we have any additional applicants here for deferral? There has been a request for Mark and Summer Brown. Just to confirm, Madam Clerk, we have a letter on file.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
That's items 10 and 11.
For items number 10 and 11. Seeing that there are no additional deferrals, I'll ask the Commission for a motion.
I move to approve deferral for items 6, 7, 8, 10, and 11 indefinitely, except for item 7 being only a 30-day deferral.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Plumlee for deferral of the applications referenced 6, 8, 10, 11 for indefinite deferral, number 7 for a 30-day referral, seconded by Commissioner Hippen. Are there any objections to having these items on deferred?
The vote is open. By a recorded vote of 10-0, items 6, 8, 10, and 11 for indefinite deferral, and items 7 for 30-day approval.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. Our next order of business is the consent agenda, and I'm going to turn that portion of our agenda over to our Vice Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Today we have 12 items on the consent agenda. 7 are agenda items, and the other ones, 5, are housekeeping issues. The first issue we will deal with is the annual report, and we've asked Commissioner Camp to read this item into the record.
By requirement of City Council, the Planning Commission, like all other boards and commissions, is obligated to submit an annual report by the end of August. That report has been completed, and it is moved to be approved on the consent agenda with modifications submitted by the commissioners.
Is there any objection to this item being placed on the consent agenda? Thank you. The next item we have is the minutes for 4 separate meetings. And is there any objection to this item being placed on the consent agenda? We've asked Commissioner Camp to read these items into the record.
The motion is to approve by consent the minutes for the following meetings, subject to individual abstentions that may pertain to the individual meetings. These are the informal session of the Planning Commission held on July 9, 2025, the formal meeting of the Planning Commission on July 9, 2025, the Comprehensive Plan Workshop held on July 29th, 2025, and the site visit held on August 7th, 2025, again, subject to the abstentions that will now be noted.
I note my abstention to the August 7 site visit.
Thank you. The next item on the consent agenda consideration is agenda item number 1, an ordinance to amend section 2.2404 of the city zoning. Thank you, ma'am.
Hello. For the record, my name is Madison Eichels. I'm a planner for the City of Virginia Beach Planning Department. Item 1 is a request for an ordinance to amend Appendix A, Article 24, Section 2404 of the City Zoning Ordinance pertaining to the development standards within the Western Campus Overlay District. The purpose of this ordinance is to amend the minimum required ground floor height for residential developments within the Western Campus Overlay District. Currently, a minimum ground floor height of 14 feet is required for all buildings within the district. This amendment will modify the building form standards in Section 2404B to differentiate the minimum ground floor height required for residential versus non-residential building types. The former would allow for a minimum ground floor height of 10 feet, while the latter would remain at a minimum height of 14 feet.
Thank you. Is there any objection to this item being placed on the consent agenda? Thank you. The next item is city ordinance for the City of Virginia Beach. And we've asked Ms. Madison Eccles if she would read this into the record.
For the record, my name is Madison Eichels. I'm a planner for the City of Virginia Beach Planning Department. Item 2 is an ordinance to amend the city's floodplain ordinance. Appendix K, pertaining to functional dependent uses, residential construction requirements, and grandfathering. More specifically, this amendment would allow the city's floodplain administrator to review and grant an administrative variance for new construction or substantial improvements to functionally dependent uses as defined by the Federal Emergency Management Act, which are those uses which cannot perform their intended purposes unless located or carried out in close proximity to the water. Other changes proposed with this ordinance include clarifications to the appeal process for administrative and city council variances, and a provision for relief for proposed developments that had submitted plans for development review prior to March 16, 2022, when the floodplain ordinance was previously amended, to remove exemptions on fill for all public roads and only allow for exemptions for Public Works or Virginia Department of Transportation roadways in the floodplain subject to special restrictions.
Thank you. The next item for our consent agenda is item number 3, Donna D. Harris and Boris G. Drew, property owners. Is there a representative for this item in the room today?
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Brett Thompson with Thompson Law Group, and I represent the applicants on item number 3 today.
Are the conditions acceptable to?
Yes.
Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you.
We've asked Commissioner Camp to read this item into the record.
Agenda item number 3 is an application for subdivision variance pertaining to property at 970 Whitehurst Landing Road. The subject parcel was improperly created by deed in 1968, at which time a subdivision plat was required to legally create the lot. The applicant is seeking to have a plat recorded to correct the improper creation by deed. The substandard 10-foot lot width of the subject parcel necessitates that a subdivision variance be granted before such a plat can be put to the record.
Thank you, sir. Next item for consent agenda is item number 4, Global Montella Group Corporation, property owners, Global Montella Group Corporation.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair, Madam Chair, members of the Commission. For the record, Rob Beeman, local land use attorney at the Troutman Pepper Law Firm, here today on behalf of the applicant. We've had a chance to review the conditions. They're acceptable, and we appreciate being on the consent agenda. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any objection to this item being placed on the consent agenda? Seeing none, we ask Commissioner Plumlee to read this item into the record.
This is an application by Global Montello Group Corporation at 1689 Laskin Road. This is the BP on the corner of Laskin and First Colonial. The request is to move a legally non-conforming sign on this site. It's, as I stated, developed by BP Automobile Service Station, constructed in 1979. The sign was originally located at the corner of Laskin and First Colonial, but the City Department of Transportation acquired that portion of the property, including that area requiring the sign be moved. As such, the applicant has requested the sign be again relocated to that corner. There's been no objection made by the public. Noted here, there's no speaker in opposition, and the members of the Planning Commission agreed it was best to be placed on the consent agenda.
Thank you, sir. The next item for our consent agenda is item number 9, VB FBDC LLC doing business as Funny Bone. Is there a representative in the building today?
Good afternoon. My name is Jonathan. I represent Funny Bone.
Thank you, sir. Do y'all agree to all of the conditions?
I do, sir.
Thank you. You may be seated. Is there any opposition to this item being placed on the consent agenda? Hearing none, we've asked Commissioner Byler to read this item into the record.
The applicant seeks to install a 91-square-foot sign by the Funny Bone Comedy Club location within the Pembroke Mall redevelopment area. Currently, the Funny Bone is located across Virginia Beach Boulevard in the Town Center development. The Funny Bone sign will be internal and will be facing other developed buildings. It will not be facing out to Independence Boulevard or Virginia Beach Boulevard. The sign will be flush mounted with internally lit LED channel letters. There are no blinking or moving illuminations proposed. The Central Business Core District, CBC, is a portion of the Pembroke Strategic Growth Area intended to foster the continued development of a central urban core with a vertical mix of urban uses, mobility and transit alternatives, and urban gathering spaces. The CBC has its own guidelines for signs, and this sign has been vetted by that group. Some of their recommendations are aspirational and some are requirements. After give and take, the applicant removed the existing raceway mount from the plans and agreed to a flush mount for the sign on the facade. Although the sign is larger than what is permitted for standard wall signs, this sign does not dominate the 90-foot-long building facade. As such, staff recommends it for approval. There are no known letters in opposition and no comments of opposition. As such, the commissioners feel it's appropriate for the consent agenda.
Thank you. The next item is item 12, David and Deborah Dowdy, property owners. Please state your name for the record.
Hi, my name is Sarah Norris. I'm the representative for this application. The request is to operate it as a short-term rental, and we accept the conditions.
Thank you. Is there any objection to this item being placed on the consent agenda? Hearing none, we've asked Commissioner Plumlee to read this item into the record.
This is an application by Deborah Dowdy and David Dowdy, property owners David Wayne and Deborah M. Dowdy at 423 21st Street. The application is requesting the operation of a 4-bedroom short-term rental with a duplex structure. It's required to have 4 off-street parking spaces. The site has 2 assigned parking spaces, and the applicant has provided an intent to lease off-site parking agreement to lease 2 off-site parking spaces within the municipal parking garage on 25th Street. Since the property is within the boundary of the residential parking permit program, parking passes issued for the dwelling will be limited to 2 resident passes. All other requirements of section 241.2 and 2303 of the zoning ordinance have been met. The site has no prior rental or violation, and based on this, the staff has recommended approval. There is no one here to speak in opposition, and the Planning Commission believed it was appropriate for the consent agenda.
Thank you. Next item for the consent agenda is item 13, Charlize Hanson, property owner, CEC Family Trust, conditional use permit.
Good afternoon, Planning Commission members. My name is Charlize Hassan, representative for CEC Family Trust, and I plan to operate this property as a short-term rental and accept all the conditions that are placed on the property.
Thank you. You may be seated. At this time, we've asked, is there any objection to this item being placed on the consent agenda? There being none, we've asked Commissioner Schoonover to read this item into the record.
Agenda item 13, the applicant, the CAC Family Trust, is seeking a conditional use permit for a short-term rental at 213 4th Street. It is surrounded by hotel and parking facilities. All of the bedroom and parking requirements have been met. Approval would expire in 5 years and be subject to the standard renewal process. This was a reasonable request approved by all members of the commission and therefore placed on the consent agenda.
Thank you. Madam Chair, that was the last item on the consent agenda. The Planning Commission places the following applications on the consent agenda. Items 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 12, and 13. Oh, and the minutes and the annual report.
Thank you very much. Do I have a motion to approve by consent as read by the Vice Chair?
Move to approve.
And is there a second?
Second.
Okay. And are there any planning commissioners abstaining?
I must abstain from voting on the August 7th, 2025 site visit minutes.
Thank you, Commissioner Plumley. So we have a motion for approval by Commissioner Plumley for the consent agenda, seconded by Commissioner Byler, with one abstention by Commissioner Plumley for the minutes of the 7th of August.
The vote is open. By a recorded vote of 10-0, with the aforementioned abstention, all aforementioned minutes, the annual report, and items 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 12, and 13 have been recommended for approval by consent.
Thank you very much. If you had an application that was on the consent agenda, your request will now be scheduled for an upcoming City Council meeting. Staff will contact you about the date. For those applicants on the consent agenda, thank you for your participation, and you may remain in the meeting either virtually or in person, but of course you're also free to leave. Our next order of business is the regular agenda. Madam Clerk, we are ready for the first item.
Our first item is item 5, Michael L. McGlynn and Tracy R. McGlynn.
Hello.
Good morning. Good afternoon. Thank you, Madam Chairman, members of the Planning Commission. For the record, Billy Garrington on behalf of the applicants, in this case, Michael and Tracy McGlynn, property known as 311 35th Street, north in the city of Virginia Beach. Existing single-family dwelling located in an A12 zoning district that the owners intend to make several improvements to the house, including a second-story addition and adding a front porch to it. We submitted detailed plans to your staff, including color renderings of the new house that what it will look like post-construction. I'm sure you have had a chance to take a look at those. You have seen that there will be a significant improvement to this property made, but the problem is that the house now sits on an A12 piece of property. This home was built in 1940. I don't think we had A12 zoning back then. So it's been there for a while. The owners like the property and want to remain where it's at. This is their only recourse to make the improvements to the house. Mr. Plumley, I think you have not an issue, or a concern with the shed. The shed that is on that property is going to be completely removed, because if you don't remove it, it violates the lot coverage. That small shed puts us over the 35% lot coverage. The reason why we told the staff in the application that it would be removed from the site. And the owners also have no intention of ever using this property for a short-term rental. It's their residential property that they like living in. And again, if you look at the color renderings that we have submitted to you, it's going to make a significant improvement to the surrounding areas. There will be no detriment at all. So there are 4 conditions in the staff write-up. Total agreement with all 4 of those conditions. Here today to ask for your approval.
Thank you.
Is there any objection to us making a motion that the shed would not be replaced, be part of that?
I have no problem.
Are there any additional questions for the applicant?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, just want to double check with you. Do we have any speakers signed up on this matter?
We do not have any speakers signed up.
Okay, at this time, I'd open up to the floor to entertain a motion and discussion.
I have a motion. I would like us to consider a motion approving this as submitted, and just tweaking that one condition about the removal of the shed, so as there's no replacement shed. Obviously, they can't meet the coverage restrictions. That's obvious, but I don't think there's any there's no prejudice to them by making that a removal with that condition not to replace it, and the representation that this is not a short-term rental. I'd move to approve it.
So we have a motion to approve with the modification to the condition regarding the shed not being, regarding the shed. Condition. Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve by Commissioner Plumley, second by Commissioner Hippen. Is there any further discussion?
The vote is open. By a recorded vote of 10-0, item number 5, Michael L. McGlynn and Tracy R. McGlynn has been recommended for approval. Our next and final item is item 14 for Richard F. Davis and Richard A. Davis.
Hello. If you could please state your name for the record.
My name is Richard A. Davis. I'm one of the owners of the property.
Thank you for being here today, Mr. Davis.
Of course. And I vote, I agreed to the...
If you could just raise your voice just a little bit, thank you.
I agreed to the terms and conditions.
Okay, and would you like to just tell us a little bit about your application?
We're going to operate a short-term rental just in the summer times, and that's all I have.
Okay, so then if you just pause for a moment, there might be a question from one of the commissioners.
Okay.
Thank you. Commissioner Plumley?
Thank you, Mr. Davis, for being here and agreeing to the conditions. I went by this, I think Monday, might have been Sunday. I didn't see a sign for this hearing. Was there a sign in place? I could have certainly missed it. I drove around looking for it.
There were 3 signs, one in the north, west, and south side of the building.
Had they been removed?
No, they're still there.
Okay. There are a number of short-term rentals in the same structure, right?
I believe there's at least 2 or 3, I think.
Or 3 others.
Yeah.
And there's been no one that's brought any objection to you with regards to this?
No, sir.
No one to me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, we'll pause. Any additional questions? Okay, thank you very much. Madam Clerk, do we have any speakers?
We do not have any speakers.
Okay, thank you very much. At this time, I'll open the floor to entertain a motion and discussion. Commissioner Plumley?
Based on the representation that the applicant made to this planning commission, I'd move to approve the STR.
Is there a second? We have a motion to approve, seconded by Commissioner Hippen. Any further discussion?
The vote is open. By recorded vote of 10-0, item number 14, Richard F. Davis and Richard A. Davis has been recommended for approval.
Okay, thank you very much. That was our last item on the agenda. Before we close today, I would just like to take this opportunity to wish Kevin Kemp, our zoning administrator, all the best in his next new chapter in the city of Chesapeake. We will miss you, but we wish you good fortune, and they're very lucky to have you. And I will call this meeting adjourned. Thank you very much.